Alright. This is Horizon Zero Dawn. Now, I've completed the game, went through the setup, so I want to share some tips on playing it when you start a new game. Let's go right into the inventory. Now, that right there is what you'll end up with weapons. I mean, you can keep all the old weapons if you want, but there's really no sense. So, when you go to do your crafting, you only need to have at least 10 slots for it. Now, in outfits, yeah, I bought all the outfits, boosted them up, but the ones that I've used the most is the Ice Hunter. That's for the Glinthawks, because those things are kind of really irritating. One or two is not so bad, but when you get a group of them, they got 4 or 5, and they're flying all over the place, and they're shooting ice down at you. This helps reduce your damage on it. Silent Hunter Heavy, which is good in the beginning, lets you be quiet. And then I used the NORA Survivor Heavy, because it gives you a nice, gives you a little bit of protection against everything. This is the one I use the most, at least until towards the end. I got the Shield Weaver, which is really good because it's got the damage absorbing force shield. So really technically, I mean, these two right here you can't sell, so you can get away with just crafting 10 slots. Now, on traps and potions, full health, half health, and the health boost. Blast traps, I'll sell them. I won't even bother with the blast traps. I maybe used them once or twice, that was it. Now, the detonating blast traps, I used them a little bit more. These are nice because you can set them up and they're detonating, and you can shoot them with a regular arrow and they blow up. So you set your traps up, and if you got humans coming near or machines, you could shoot it. If they don't set it off, you can shoot it and set it off and damage them that way. All the other stuff, never even bothered with it. Modifications, well, you get a lot of different modifications, so you want to try to boost that up when you do your crafting on that, so that way you can carry a lot of them. But again, with the weapons and everything else, you're only going to be using the best possible ones that you can. So, let's see, what do we got here? Let's go into skills. Now, in Forager on this, I took Lure Call, and I waited. I did Combat Override, but I waited until I got down to here. When you get the opportunity to do this, try to boost this all the way up to Call Mount. You can actually call your mount, and it'll help you in battles against like the larger machines and stuff. So it's very, very handy. Healer, Herbalist, Disarm Traps, this whole thing all the way down to Tinker. Tinker's very helpful because you can swap out your coils and everything else. Otherwise, when you do, they're destroyed. This one here basically just gives you all additional things, which is handy, but not necessarily needed. On Brave, you want to take the center one, go all the way down and get that triple shot. Very, very handy triple shot. And the same thing over here, concentration, and then fast reload. That helps you out. And on Prowler, going down the middle, you get your strong strikes with your staff. All the way down the bottom, you do 30% more damage for silent strikes, which is helpful. Silent is, you kill a lot of enemies that way. And then here, this basically makes you a lot quieter and harder to spot. Silent strike, very necessary. Strike from above, I think I used it twice. Didn't even use strike from below one time. I basically sniped the guys all from a distance. So, and I don't think there was ever one opportunity to ever do a strike from below on a machine. This would be I just used it as human enemies. I'd rather get them from a distance. So there you go. That's basically, like I said, the ones I would put in all the way down here to get your combat and the healer going there. Critical hit all the way down to the triple, concentration, and then all your silent, and then work on your the middle prowler and these. Let's see what else we got here. I think that would about do it. So when you go into here, and like I said, crafting for carry capacity. One thing. Any animal you kill, if you get a bone or a skin, keep it. Do not sell it, because in the crafting, when you go up to these higher levels here, like we'll look at the Tear Blaster. I haven't done this. Goose skin. Alright, you're going to use basically every animal, either their skin or their bone, as you do it. And the higher you go up, the more you have to use. 500 metal shards, 1 goose, and 200 ridgewood. I haven't even bothered with it because the Terror Blaster that I'm using, the weapon that I'm using, is a lot better. Your primary weapons, the way I set it up, I use the hunter bow, and then actually we'll go into crafting here, easier this way. The hunter bow, and then very helpful, you get your best modifications for damage. As you can see, that increases your damage for it. That's your primary. Now the TRIPCASTER. Now I had this up to 700. This is extremely helpful for that blast, for taking out things. I mean, it does 583 damage, and again, I've got the damage. Now I had it higher, but what I did was I switched it over to the blast sling, which lobs out the grenades, and you're going to find that when you're fighting against the big boys, you're going to want to set, your lines, but you're going to use a lot of grenades. So my thing was to put the highest in this to boost it up. As you can see, 48 damage, 49 damage, 49 damage. So that way, it did a lot more damage. Now the large warbow, that's got the corruption. Now the corruption is that's very helpful too. As you can see, I've got it up to 142 on this, because I put all corruption coils into it. So that way when you shoot a machine, it corrupts it. So if you're fighting against, you got like 6 Glinthawks in an area, you shoot 2 of them, they get corrupted and they fight each other. So the machines will kill each other, and then you can just mop up the survivors. The rope caster, very handy for taking down machines, and once you've got them tied down, if you can override them, you can override them. I've actually, like the storm birds, the really big ones, I've used this, tied them down, overridden the storm bird, and it's now become my ally. Shadow Sling does the same thing. Notice I put freeze on it, because if you freeze a machine, it'll do more damage. So if I'm fighting up a really bad guy, I might shoot that up, freeze him with that, and then go after him with the bomb, so you're doing double the damage. But on some of them, like the corrupted, it's kind of hard, especially it gets very chaotic. But those are the primary weapons that I use. And I'll bring it up, see? Shadow Hunter bow. That's the blast sling. There's the war bow. And then the TRIPCASTER. And, oh shoot. I'm kind of out of here, but we'll make it. So, I'll give you a quick example. So you're going to be fighting enemies. That wasn't even. But, so they run across this. That's going to do about 570 points of damage on them. and it will take them out really quick. And of course, you pick it up so you can do it, and boom. Alright, there's a quick little tips on what you want to do. That'll help the game. Oh, and one more thing. Just follow the main storyline. Follow it all the way to the end. Defeat them. And then what you'll do is you'll get this armor right here with the force field. And then you can go do all your side quests. I mean, either way you want to do it. You can do all the side quests. If it's the first time that you're playing, do the side quests so you get all your allies. There's an achievement where you get so many allies. But if you're doing a second playthrough, just follow the main storyline so you'll get this armor. And this armor is extremely good. Alright, let's post that up.